Hey everybody, this is Betsy. Thanks so much for joining me back here again on the Greeter YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showcasing a new die collection we have coming called Figgy Pudding Box Die. It makes this adorable 3D Christmas treat, which of course you can also dress up in other ways to use for other occasions as well. So let's get started. We're going to put together a box today. This is the Figgy Pudding box die. There's a base, a lid, and then some details for the base, and then also a holly leaf and berries. We are also offering an optional bow topper die. This is sold separately, and it just lets you add a cute little bow to the top of your box. As you can see here, I already have all of my pieces die cutting. I started out with white cardstock and I am sponging ink onto the base of my little figgy pudding cake. I'm using a combination of vintage photo and walnut stain oxide inks. You could of course make the process go a little bit faster by starting out with a colored cardstock. That would just make the whole process go faster and you could basically skip the shading part, but I love the way the ink blending looks and just kind of the texture and dimension that it gives to the little box. These little elements that I'm sponging right now are details for the sides of the base of the cake. You can omit these if you want to, but I love the way they just add a little extra detail and dimension to the little cake. So I'm done sponging my elements with ink, so now it's time to go ahead and start assembling the base of the box. You'll need to die cut 2 of the base portions of the box. I like to just go ahead and add these detail pieces before I start assembling. So I'm going to turn them all around to the back side and add a little bit of liquid adhesive to those. I'm using Barely Art Precision Glue, which has this great needlepoint tip on it that's super great for small things like this. You can just get really detailed with the needle tip. So I have adhesive on all of the back sides of these detail pieces, and I'm just going to go ahead and add those to each side of the cake base. So now we're going to assemble the base of the box. It's super easy. Fold on the tabs and the flaps on the base. All those lines are scored, so just go ahead and fold all of those flaps. Then I'll just add some adhesive on all of those little tabs and start putting it together. Then I'm going to attach the 2 base halves together by putting some adhesive on the inside of one of those bases and then just stack them. Make sure the corners are all aligned and then tuck those flaps inside and attach the 2 pieces together at those flaps. And there we have the cute little base to our figgy pudding. So now we're going to put together the lid, which looks like drippy frosting. You'll need to die cut 2 of those pieces as well. And then just go ahead and fold everything on the flaps. These little side tabs are a little bit delicate where the frosting is all drippy. So just kind of use your fingernail, or you could use a scoring tool to kind of reinforce that little score before you fold those. But I did not really find that was necessary if I just was kind of careful about it. And I'll do the same with this one, and then we'll put the 2 pieces together, basically just the same way we did the base of the box. Just attach those tabs on each side of the hexagon, and then attach the 2 pieces together. And there we have our little box top. So now comes the fun part of embellishing the top of our figgy pudding cake. There's lots of options. There are some dies included in the set that can be used. We're also offering these cute little holly topper dies. So it would be a super quick and easy way to just add this little dimensional topper to the top. And of course, you're going to want to probably look at adding some glitter. Our chocolate candy crumbles are a great addition as well for embellishing those. So let's just go ahead and add some fun details. I'm going to start by putting some liquid adhesive on the top of my cake so that I can add some glitter. I'm just adding some liquid adhesive and then using a palette knife to smooth that out. And I'll go ahead and coat that with glitter. It's a nice sugary sparkle to the top of our figgy pudding. And then I'm going to add some more liquid adhesive, just kind of dot that on top of the glitter. And I'll sprinkle that with our candy crumbles in brown. Looks like chocolate. Kind of press it down into that liquid glue. We're going to go ahead and add some die cuts to our top. The little holly and berries are included in the Figgy Pudding die collection, and I'm going to glitter those up as well. While I'm waiting for that glue to dry, I'm also going to take some Nouveau vintage drops in, this is, I believe, chocolate chip, and I'm going to add some chocolate drizzle. I also die cut 2 of the Figgy Pudding bow topper dies, and what we're going to do is adhere those back to back, but do not add adhesive to the little tab. We want those tabs to be free so we can fold those out. That's how we're going to attach it to the lid of our box. I'm going to add the holly leaves. You'll notice that there's a hole in the lid of the box and there's a hole in the holly leaves. So just go ahead and line those up. I'm trying to be really careful here because my chocolate drizzle is not dry. So I'm trying to be a little bit careful, but I think you get the idea. And then we're going to add the bow topper. I'm going to slip those tabs through the center hole of the holly leaves and the box top. Before I do that, I'm going to put some adhesive on the outside of those flaps. And then we can just go ahead and insert that through that hole. And then we'll fold the tabs out on the back side, underside of the lid, and attach that on the underside, just like that. So there we have this cute little embellished lid that will just fit onto the base of our box. I'm also going to add these berries that we glittered up. Normally you would fold this in half and then you could use the tabs to tuck it inside the holly leaves, just like we did the bow, but since we used the bow, I'm actually just going to snip those tabs off and then snip these apart and just attach them one on each side of the bow. So there we attached the little holly berries to the bow, and our box is finished and ready to be filled with some fun little treats for the holidays. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this look at our new Figgy Pudding box die and the additional bow topper die, and I hope you love putting these together for fun holiday treats.